There we go.
Actually,
Well, good morning. How are we doing?
not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, okay. Welcome, everybody. If you're here, we're late starting today.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. From rainy Vancouver. Welcome. So, hopefully your week was good. How was your week?
My week, trading or just the week. I mean, I
Everything.
didn't do much in trading. It's been a busy week, but I'm glad that I didn't do anything because I think the market has been doing nothing.
No, it needs direction, right? So it's kind of like at that stalemate type of situation. We don't know. It's the administration, right? I think the tariffs have settled in and taken their toll, so to speak. Everyone knows that they're there, and we got some inflationary concerns. You know,
Yeah.
Powell said it, right? He said, you know, we got. They're aware of the inflationary. They have a problem right now. Stagflation, right, is going to be a problem because the economy is not going anywhere. It's going to stagnate. But we got high prices and unemployment, and what do you do, right? It kind of ruins their dual mandate: stable prices and low unemployment. And they can't use the tools that they want to use, their main tool of raising interest rates, because you can't do it at the same time with both of them because they need both. They need different sides of the coin, so to speak. To encourage people to employ people, you need you need a good economy. You need movement, right? You need the possibility of growth, and you need low interest. But if you've got inflation, you need you need to see your interest. You need to maybe increase your interest rate. So it's going to be kind of and this is what I talked about a while ago about this, about this possibility of what's going to happen. And I actually think there's more sort of scary stuff going on within the US. We're getting a lot of these like meetings that these governors or senators or wherever they are go to talk to the public, and the public are getting all mad and angry and threatening them and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you've heard about that, right? Have you heard about that?
Well, and what happened? This sounds new to me.
No, it's been going on for a while. It's been going on for a while that they have these town hall meetings, and the elected officials go there to try and explain the situation to everybody, and there's people getting threatening and getting aggressive and getting angry. And
I have a question about this. I don't know if you know, and I heard it I think a couple of weeks ago. but I don't know what it means, and it's related to this. I saw the headlines: government is gonna shut down. What does that mean?
Well, it means they're not going to do anything. They're not going to make any decisions. They're not going to, basically operate. They're basically just going to shut down and not do anything. So
But
again, that kind of.
government, like what is?
Well, there's nothing going to go through to be voted on. We need this bill passed. We need this voted on. We need this. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to leave it. So that's really what that is. It doesn't mean there's no police force or anything like that. Social service is supposed to carry on, although there's a problem there. But I think with these town hall meetings, I had a conversation with a couple of people last week, and when we were talking about it, and they said, well, what do you think? I said, okay. We all know I am a conspiracy theorist,
Yes, that's not new.
right? Yeah. So here goes my take on this, because what has really happened in the U.S. right now? What has really happened to affect the American people themselves? Not much, right? It's just a new administration coming in, trying to settle himself in and trying to do some things and, sort things out. And, it's Trump and blah, 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 right? So he's
Yes,
been in,
a
he's
lot of
been
blah
in,
blah blah.
yeah, right? A lot of blah, 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 right? And really and truly, the tariffs that he's been threatening for the last 44, how many days has he been in? 45 days? 50
Yeah,
days?
something like 50.
So we haven't even reached that magical 100 days yet, right? And so have the tariffs been applied? Yes or no? Just a
I
simple answer.
not like, I mean, some, no, like China, some in
No,
China, like 10.
no.
No,
April 2nd, right? It keeps delaying, keeps delaying, keeps delaying, keeps delaying.
I thought he applied like initially the 10% on China.
I don't think it's in
Huh?
effect. No.
Okay, then.
So I might be wrong,
Hmm.
but let's talk about the major tariffs, the major ones that hurt the U.S. Right? They haven't been applied yet.
Yeah.
However, what has happened with those? You can see an increase in purchases because companies are saying, well, shit, if I'm going to get tariffed, I better order a shitload extra lumber. I better order a shitload extra aluminum,
Yeah.
right? So there's that going on, right? Of course, you're a business person. You're going to be smart. Are you going to increase your prices? Damn right, you're going to increase your prices right away, right? So inflationary happens right away, right?
Yeah.
So, and you got the egg problem because of the bird flu or whatever it was. They had to get eggs, but eggs are dropping now because they're getting them from other places, right? Not from Canada. We won't sell them to them. Fuck them. So I'm just joking, Americans. Sorry. So, it what really has happened to the American people? Not much,
Not much.
right? So why would they be getting angry? Why would they be getting up in town hall and getting in people's faces and threatening them and getting and civil uprising and all this shit? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. You want to know why?
Uh, yes, of course. I want to know why.
Because it's Donald Trump evil plan that he orchestrated 4 years ago to cause civil unrest so he can take over dictatorship of the country and rule as one. And it
That
starts with civil unrest. It has to have, you have to have civil
wait.
unrest. So I believe they're planting these people to start these arguments and shouting matches to rile everybody up to follow suit, because unfortunately humans are a little bit of lemmings. They follow. They may not feel as passionate as that person, but they follow. We had hockey riots here in Vancouver twice, and it's like people know it's bad, know it's wrong, but they still fight because they get wrapped up into it all. You get pulled into it. It's an actual thing. It's a real thing, right? It's a psychological thing that you get pulled up into it. So you have to avoid that shit. So I think that's what's happening. I think they're sending people to these things to create this situation so they get civil. There is my conspiracy theory for March the 22nd, 2025.
It's not that crazy when you were answering the government shutdown question, the first thing I thought is like, okay, you said government shutdown means they're not gonna do anything. The government is not gonna do anything. That
Yeah.
seems to me like a dictatorship, no? Like Trump will take over. We will be only his decisions. That sounds to me like a dictatorship already.
Well, he doesn't make any decisions either. Basically, the whole process is shut down, and it's to do with, I think it's budgetary. I think it's because of the, I'm not really 100% sure, but I do know that they just won't be, looking at stuff and making decisions and basically not operating on a higher level. So is that good or is that bad? Well, it's bad for policies and stuff to get going, right? It's like you're not operating, and you may be right. You may be like, well, if Trump wants to do this, if there's no government and no Congress to put it through, he just makes his own decision and does it himself. This is dangerous stuff, right? I mean, we're getting into dangerous territory here, and I don't know if look. My wife works for in Vancouver in a retail store and in one of the high tourist areas, right? And they get a lot of Americans coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things these Americans say when they come in is sorry. They say, we're sorry, right? And, they're frustrated. There's no doubt about it. They're frustrated. The general populace is getting frustrated with this. And they're seeing that, and you get a common theme, was my wife was telling me, that people say, because I said to her, I said, well, why are they surprised? He's doing exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He's never hidden the fact what he's going to do. And so she would use that. She would say, well, my husband told me he's doing exactly what he said he would do. And the answer they give is, yeah, but we didn't think he would actually do it.
Yeah.
So it's like there's American politics right there, right? It's like, holy crap, the guy tells you what he's going to do, and you like it, but you don't believe he's going to do it anyway, but you still vote for him. Bizarre, but anyway. So we will see. The thing is, it's an interesting ride, that's for sure. So let's talk about Canada. Mark Carney got in as Prime Minister of Canada, was sworn in just recently, and the first thing he didn't go to the U.S., which is the first stop that all new prime ministers do. They go visit the White House. He didn't do it. Where did he go? He went to the UK and he went to France. That's interesting, right? Mm-hmm. And why did he go there? Because they're the two countries that made Canada, right? The French and the English, right? And it's like he goes there first. And now he doesn't have any plans to visit the White House, but he talked to him on the phone. So that says a lot with that relationship. And it's like, now I did read a bunch of information from Canadian sources that the government of Canada are looking at other relationships across the world. Australia is one. They're doing a lot with Australia. India, they're looking at to repair that relationship for trade. So they're now not sort of going to harm the U.S. They're not going to sort of do stuff to go because I think that's over. You can't do this, stand up, yes, and do that kind of stuff and say, hey, we're not going to take this. But tit for tat is like, being in the schoolyard, right? They're not kids, right? Just, do it properly and say, well, okay, fine. You want to throw, that's okay. You're the one that's going to pay for it. We're going to take our aluminum that we sell 85% of to the US and turn around and take 60% of it and sell it elsewhere. What do we care, right? And I think, maybe things will change. We'll see. And at the end of the day, I still think it's a negotiation tactic. I still think he's just doing it to disrupt everything. I still think he's doing it on purpose. Yeah, that's what he's doing. And if you look at the evidence of everything, it's a disruption. It's a disruption for America. And look, there are some things. Social services for America is a real big thing with fraud. I've heard that many times. And are they trying to fix it, or are they just trying to use it as an excuse to go in there and scare the shit out of everyone with DOGE? I don't know. But you take a guy that's, a multi-billionaire, right? and stick him in there, right? It's like, oh my God, you just put a cat in a bunch of mice, right? And it's just like, what the hell, right? And he's rocking the boat. He doesn't care. He's a multi-billionaire and he's got a relationship with the president, right? What does he care? He doesn't care. And so
Do you think he's doing a
he,
good job so far?
who?
The the cat,
Musk?
the cat, yeah.
Musk? Well, it depends what you think is a good job. If you think it's a good job to sort out all the overspending and correct it, then yeah, he's doing a great job. He's
Yeah,
identified it.
I think
If you're saying he's doing a good job in how he handles it by turning around and firing everybody and kicking everybody out, then no, he's not doing a good job. Look, we fired everybody from the earthquake people that tell us when an earthquake is happening. Oh, that's a mistake. We better it's a clusterfuck, right? You go in there, guns are blazing without even thinking, and then they're saying, "Oh shit, we better rehire these people," and write an email saying, "Oh, we made a mistake. Can you come back? Can you start from?" Like, come on, man. So the execution has been a little off, and I think when you have somebody with that authority and then they hire 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds to execute it, it becomes a little suspect. Nothing wrong with 19, 20, 21-year-old, but even though I'm 65 in a few weeks, I do remember when I was 19, 20, and 21. I do remember. I'm not that old that I can't remember it. And I was a dick, and I was a little prick, and I was, you don't take things that seriously, right? So it's interesting, especially in this day and age. It's a lot different from when I was that age, obviously. I mean, geez, when I was 22, I was a dad. So a lot different now, right? So I don't know. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and with this stuff with going to the Pentagon and checking out China's plans, a plan on how to go to war with China. Why the hell would you be bringing that up publicly? That makes no sense, right? And it's like, how is a guy that has no clearance, right, given that information? Then all of a sudden, they cancelled it. No, it wasn't even real, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You can't have a normal person, just even though he's a businessman, he doesn't have the clearance. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I just think it just seems really weird with all this stuff coming out. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that kind of stuff. I think,
Well, I have one last question about this. When do you think all this noise, all this just crazy Trump game and trade wars, if you want to call it like that, when do you think it's going to come to an end?
That's an interesting question, and I don't know. I mean, I would like to say cooler heads will prevail, and by the fall of this year, everything will settle and everything will go on. But I have a feeling that it's going to go well into next year, and I have a feeling. I think he has an objective, and I think his objective is to destroy America as we know it, and to put them on their knees, and so he can be the dictator that his buddy Putin is in Russia. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But nobody questions Putin. He's been there for years. There's no voting, right? I mean, what kind of voting is there? I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to Russia, but it just seems that guy's been in there for yonks, and there's nobody to challenge him. So does Trump want the same thing? It seems to be, because he actually said it. You vote for me, you'll never have to vote again. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Well, if you think about it, it means that you vote for me, I'm going to be here. I'm the king of America. Why would you say that? Right? It's like he's saying that he's going to be the top dog until he dies. He's going to be the one that leads America to great again. The problem is, everybody knows America has problems. Americans know America has problems. But Americans have pride, and they're proud, and they don't want to struggle in trying to correct it, if you understand what I mean by that, right? They don't want to do that. They want to just keep, it'll be okay. We'll just keep going. Here's a dangerous, I'm going to try and pull up something here. I want to show you guys, if I can get it. Just give me 1 second. I want you to see this. This is crazy. Absolute crazy, right? So let's see if we can get this up here. All right. No, no, I didn't get that. That's not it. Know if I can get it. Oh, here we go. Oh, we go. Okay, all right.
Don't
So,
forget to share it.
oh yes, I do forget that, don't I? Yes. Okay. So, uh, let's da 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 da. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember
Look,
this.
look, look at this. This is freaking crazy. And I mean, U.S. national debt, total debt, like this is nuts. But there's something else you need to look at, right? And I'm going to try and get that up too. And if I can remember what to call it, what's it called? Let's see. Hold on a second. Uh, I don't know if I can get this total up. Oh, UL, maybe this will be here. Okay, hold on. I should have, okay, all
Wait.
right.
Can you disconnect and connect your microphone? Because I think got disconnected.
How's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Can't seem to get what I want.
What
Let
are
me see if I.
we looking for?
What I'm trying to. I'm going to go. I'm going to show it. I don't want to say it. I'm going to show it. Just give me 1 sec. All right. I'm going to get there in a minute.
Oh, you can download the US debt on your phone.
This is incredible, man. I mean, this is amazing information. When you can kind of look at it all. I'm just trying to see if I can see what I want to see here. So I want to see total debt, interest, money creation, money supply, trade deficit. So U.S. debt help with that. Imported oil, U.S. trade debt, currency and credit. Doesn't seem to have what I want. I saw it the other day, and I guess I forgot to save it.
Mm-hmm.
More there's our home sale sources. There's lots. What is this here? Let me see what this is. Okay, so basically we all have. Oh, actually, let me see if I can do it this way. Oh, sorry guys, I should have. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. So let's. See if this happens. Trying to get a certain. Okay, maybe this is it here. This will work. This will work. I'm going to hunt for it, and I'm going to probably link it when we sort this video out. I'm going to explain what it is I'm trying to explain to you guys. Okay, we have exports and imports, right? So let's have a look at the calendar and see if that shows it there. Exports and imports. Because you will see that if you want a good economy, gross domestic product, yes,
Yes.
you want to make sure that you are exporting more than you're importing, right?
Yes.
Right? Makes sense? Well, the U.S. actually imports more than it exports. It has a trade deficit continuously. And not only that, I was looking at it, and I said to myself, oh my God, it produces maybe, I'm going to do a figure, let's say 100 trillion, yet its debt outweighs its income. Do you understand what I mean by that?
No.
Okay, so the amount of money it processes, right? So the difference between the import, the export, the gross domestic product, and all the money and everything that it brings in, right? From taxes, everything like that. That figure, right, is less than what it goes out. So it's bankrupt.
So
If a business,
yeah.
if a business was bringing in 100 million but paying out 120 million, it's bankrupt. On the surface of looking at the US as a country, what it imports, what it exports, what it produces, right, and what its debt is, it's bankrupt.
Yeah.
Now, if that ain't scary, I don't know what is.
Well, yeah, I mean, the perfect example would be the looking at the U.S. Debt clock. No, like it's 30 something trillions. Like it tells you something's wrong.
Yeah, let's go back to that debt clock. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 36
yeah,
trillion.
that's national debt there. Yeah, you know,
Well, now
36.
how is this compared to other countries?
Why would you? That's why I wanted to get that thing. I wanted to show you. Now, you want to hear an interesting statistic? I can't prove it because I haven't found it. I will find it. I will get this. Actually, what about
Okay,
this one? Is
so
this it?
but what do you see? Like other countries are also.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go. Here we go. Look at this. So here's its national debt, and there is its gross domestic product. This is what it produces here. And look at all these numbers. So here's one. Look at Japan. National debt is 12 trillion. They only bring in 4 trillion. But I wanted you to see a really interesting one. And
Canada.
this is Canada's not that bad, right? You know, but here's the one that I think everybody wants to see. And this should scare the shit out of you.
Whoa.
Look at this. The gross domestic product of Russia,
It's
2,237. Yeah, and look at its national debt. It hasn't got much national debt, right? Now, when I looked at it, I said, holy shit.
How come?
I don't know, man. And what I don't
Okay,
understand is how.
The GDP of Russia is more than the national debt.
Which is a good thing. They're earning. Well, this is good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to confirm. Yeah,
But look at the difference. It's a huge difference, right? It's like 1.5 trillion more. Anyway, the interesting part is, in my mind, when I'm looking at it, I'm going, holy Jesus, how is it that they're not destroying people in war? Thank God they're incompetent in military things, because if they were competent in producing good products and building good stuff that worked, we would all be speaking Russian right now. And look at Korea.
So actually, wait, I want to see Mexico.
As Mexico is surprisingly good. Look,
Yeah.
your gross domestic product is 1.89, but your debt's 1.173.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad, right? Right?
Not too bad.
So
And
yeah,
US GDP is what? 29.
there you go. 29
And
trillion,
that is
893 million, 803,000. What is that number? 420,000 million, billion, trillion.
trillion.
29 trillion, 893 billion, 804 million. But the debt is 36 trillion, 628 billion, 800. Why do you think he's screaming and wants the interest rates to go down? This is killing them,
Now,
right?
what are the percentages on the right?
this kind of stuff. Oh, this is public debt to GDP ratio. So that's what he's saying. It's 100.24 because the GDP is 29 and the national debt is 36, so the ratio is 100.24. External debt is 91.78 to GDP. This is not good numbers. This is not good numbers. You need these lower,
Yeah.
right? So you look at Russia, right? Right? Look, 21% public debt and 14 in external debt to GDP ratio. So this is nice, right? So
So this seems like
I prefer these numbers.
Russia is a healthy, like financially healthy country.
Yeah,
Why?
economically.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're going, why?
Why?
I know that.
What's going on?
Wow.
And then the States, on the other hand, is completely unsustainable and debt growing. And then what? I mean, okay, if Trump doesn't look into solving this, maybe if Kamala Harris was the president, would she be like caring about this national debt? And what would be the ultimate risk of this national debt growing and growing and being like a bomb? What's
Well, I think the challenge is this: is that they could just turn around and just say, "Oh, we're not paying." That's happened before. Like, I mean, this is nothing. I mean, if you look at the 70s, I mean, this was, up to compared to the gross domestic product. I mean, like inflation was up like 15%, maybe more. I don't know. I may have to do some research on that. But I know they've been in this situation before. And they've been in situations before where they just said, "No, we're just cleaning it off." So they've done that before. And, maybe they do it again. I mean, how much gold do they have in the gold reserves? Does anybody know? It's a trick question because they don't know. That's the thing. So they've got a pile of what is it, Fort Worth or something, I don't know where they keep the gold. I forget where it is. But they have a ton of gold and reserves, physical gold. And it takes them, I'm going to say it takes them 2 years to count it all. So by the time they get to count it, then they'd have to go back because they have to weigh it. They haven't found out a way how to count it fast. So how much do they have? Nobody knows. So I think one of the things too is like the U.S. can deal with this kind of stuff because they're the world currency. And that gives a lot of benefits with that because there's demand for the currency because, debts are paid in US and there's a lot of stuff and a lot of movement and a lot of stuff. If you took that away, I think the US would be in big trouble. Possibly. But I may be wrong. I don't know. But it just seems to me that they're able to survive because there's always a constant demand for the US dollar. Look, they have 341 million people, right? 341 million, as opposed to Russia have 147, right? So the problem with Russia is a lot of this money, this wealth, goes to only a certain amount of people, right? The oligarchs. The U.S. are trying to create their own oligarch system. In my mind, they're trying to do the same thing. They say, we want all this money for a select few. Whether that happens, who knows? I mean, it's just interesting to look at. But anyway, let's move on from this.
interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's cool. But I find it interesting because I'm a bit of a geek. But, the thing is, so how does it affect your trading? Well, it shouldn't, really. It's more of an interest thing of, hey, you know what's going on, right? I mean, I'm not going to trade because, we're importing more than we're exporting or exporting whatever it is. Oh, shit, I better not trade. Right? But I think what you have to remember in this kind of environment, it becomes very kind of like choppy.
Mm-hmm.
And, long-term trading, position trading, investing trading is really not really ideal right now, right? You don't know what the future holds, right? So I can turn around and I can say to you, okay, this is coming down to here. And I've said that many times. And you go, well, when? I don't know. Right? No idea, because it could just be doing this for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have, there's that, it could be doing up, down, up, down, up,
Yeah.
down, and finally go, right? This is why we like levels. Love levels,
Love
right?
levels.
Because if you're in that level, you're going down. You're above that level, you're going in between there until you break one or break the other. That's it. You guys, I'm telling you out there, you just trade levels, you'll be fine. I'm telling you. Forget all the other ones. Trade levels. It's good. Anyway, so let's look at something on the terms of, like, okay, Bitcoin. It's a perfect example, right? Was that a correction or was that a bounce? Let's look at Nvidia, right?
Okay.
Let's look at S&P. Everyone's saying, oh, it's just a bounce. Is it? Is it a correction? Right? We went through that last week, right? We were talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Now we have to turn to our psyche and
Mm-hmm.
our mindset and say, all right, what is it? Do we really know what it is? Do we
No one
know?
knows.
No, we don't. So we have to stick by
Our plan, our levels.
our rules. Yeah. And we have this, we identify levels.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those levels that I pick are from highs and lows and 50% and open and closes, very defined levels. And defined levels on the Fibonacci swing, right? So when you stick to that simplicity, right, and you just trade accordingly. And my trading was last week. Wasn't great, but I made some money. It was good, right? And I kept out of trouble. Nice position on gold, a small loss on gold, a good win on gold, a good win on the USJPY.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, right? Nothing big, nothing good. But if you do nice, little bit, right? Little increments, small increments, low risk, medium return, and you do that over time, constantly, consistently, what's going to happen? You're not going to get this, but you're going to get this, this, this. Over time. Okay, yeah. I like doing this, guys. Don't laugh.
You pictured
But
it perfectly. No worries.
you understand what I mean, though, Ray, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like,
definitely.
yeah, you're not getting that 300 pip win. You're not getting that $500 a week win. But maybe you're making 75. Maybe you're making 100, right? And you're looking at it, you go, oh man, this sucks. This is grindy. I think like that sometimes, because sometimes I have really good wins, right? But I also know the environment I'm in. I have to be selective, and I have to understand when I look at it and go, what's going on here? This should be down here. This should be going. Why is it not going here? What's going on? Okay, you know what? It broke that trend. Okay, I'm getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And, 9 times out of 10, I'm right to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at we're going to go to the charts now. Now, are we okay to go to the charts? Yeah, you're excited to go to the
my
charts?
favorite part.
You like that, right? Yeah.
And you know what?
So,
I think we should get a funded account together.
okay. We talked about that. We did
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah, we did.
We haven't really. I mean, it's been a busy week for us, right?
Yeah.
Work-wise, for you especially. For me, not so much. But so you remember I talked about the U.S. dollar, right? And I talked about that we're going to get some kind of U.S. strength,
Are
right?
you sharing the screen?
Am I not? Am I not sharing the screen? I thought I did. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Man, oh man, oh man. This.
I know, man.
All right. Okay. How's that? Are we there now?
Yes.
Right. So this is the US dollar. This is the US dollar monthly, right? So I'm going to go to the weekly, right? And actually, I'm going to go to the daily, not the week, because remember when we got this big thing here, and I said, we're gonna have some push to the upside soon, but we didn't get much in this week here, right? As well. But look at this week. Look at this week just gone, right? Let's put that into a daily scenario, right? You're going to see it a little bit better. Look at this wandering here, like this uncertainty, and then finally pop. Look at these 2 days here. We've got away from this area, this level, right? Got broken, right? This level right here got broken, right? Broken, came back, went up. Now it's closed above this level, right? Which was, I said, we're going to get some US strength. It's inevitable. Why? Well, I don't know if I have it on here, but we have some Fibonacci action. Yeah, we hit a D extension here. See this swing here? This is a D extension here. It still went further, and I said there's a swing going to be formed, right? Now, if you go on the weekly chart, right? We don't have a swing here, but we have a bunch. We have highs, lows, a lower high, lows. But what have I been expecting here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks? I've been expecting this to make a down leg. Remember?
What is a down leg?
Well,
the retracement.
No. This is a down leg. This is a down leg of. Why is that not? Why can't? Okay. This is what I like to trade. I like to trade a swing. Right? Because that's the natural movement of the market. Whoa, this damn thing bugger off. Jeez, it comes on all the time. I don't know how to turn it off.
You're expecting the swing. This.
Yeah. I'm always looking for this swing. I'm always looking to trade a swing. That's what I look for. Constantly. Right? And here, look. Low to high. Wow, look here. Here it is here. Low to high. Retracement.
Yes.
Extension. Right? And just look, we can put the Fibonacci there. There it is. See, look. There to there to there. Now, why did this come down here? I knew this was coming down to fulfill this 382. And we knew this was coming down because this is what this market does with the Fibonacci.
So for
Look at
now, it
that.
seems like this level right now, it's a good level for it to bounce and do this swing.
Yeah. Now, here's the key, though. Is this going to come up and fulfill this original upswing de-extension, right, which is this right here? Why is it there? Because the retracement of this swing of A to B, right, has reached in this red area. See these red lines here? Right? Anywhere there, even underneath it, as long as it doesn't hit that blue line, right? If the market comes to there, it's going to go to there eventually. It's going to go to this red line. That's the target, because that is the opposite to what I drew there, opposite to this, which is low to high, right?
Then higher low to a higher high.
Yeah. Get it now, aren't you? Right?
Yes.
So now we're here, right? And now we want to go to a higher high. This is not really cooperating today. It's a little bratty software.
I
There,
don't like
that's
Smart
what-
Trader.
I love Smart Trader, but this is weekend, and sometimes they have a habit of, I don't know what they do, but they don't let you operate it. So I try to do everything Friday, but Anyway, beside the
Eh,
point.
w-
I don't
when
want to. I don't want to change.
wh-
So so what is the first one? But this could be a swing here, right?
Mhm.
This could be this swing could be doing another swing the opposite way, right? Because this could be here to here,
Mhm.
right? And then it could be doing this, retracing,
Yeah.
and then do what? A final push down,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So that could be doing that, right? And we don't know, and we have to speculate a little bit. But what you can
Mhm.
do, you say, well, where would that go? So if I take my Fibonacci and I put it here, look where my target would be if this goes up to here,
Yeah.
right? It's still inside this up AB boundary.
Yeah.
It's just its target will change. That's all. So this is possible. So what happens if this, this one, the retracement,
Mhm.
goes up higher to the blue, right? Then that means the target of this one would only reach to this blue line here, which
Mhm.
is still inside this red of the up AB, and its target will still be the same,
Mhm.
right? Now, am I saying this is going to go there? No, I'm not. I don't think it will. I think the
Can
place that it might go to would be the B. If it's going to go anywhere with structure,
Yeah.
it'll go to the B.
This seems like a good level to target.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we zoom
So
out
what?
and see when was the last time it reached those levels?
Yeah. But before I do that, what do you have to wait here for this to be? Because this has to be a valid low. Right now, it's not a valid low. So we need two
Why
more
why is not a
candles.
valid low?
Because I'm just going to tell you why. Because a valid high and a valid low requires 5 candles. Requires a pattern of 5 candles. So you see this low right here, right?
Yes.
Here is the low here. It needs
Yes.
2 to the left and 2 to the right. 2
Mm.
to the left that is higher than the low, and 2 to the right that is higher than the low. Look at this. Look at this high right here, right? It's got 1 and then 1 2,
Mhm.
1 and 1 2. That's what you need. That's a valid high there. So this is a valid high. Yes. Look, high 1 2, high 1 2.
Wow.
Lower than that.
So
That low.
we need another
So we
candle.
need 2. We got 1 here. We need 2 candles this side
Huh?
that is higher than this low here, for this to be an official low, which is official X leg, down leg of a swing, possible swing. So there you go. So how far is this going to go? I think it will fulfill the 50% of this candle for sure, right? So, my money is on there, that's for sure. So it could be there, that's it.
Mhm.
And then it breaks and comes back down and then goes back down and fulfills down here and then turns around and goes up.
Mhm.
I still think we got downward momentum on the US dollar. But right now, we're going to go into a phase of US strength.
Can we zoom out and see the other times that we had those 2022? Hmm.
Right there, here,
Yeah.
2022. And look at this level right here. Look, beautiful
Yeah.
level.
Wow. Yeah. That's a.
So this is why I like the ability. This could come all the way down and take this level right out.
Mhm.
If this comes down and takes this level right out, oh man, if it breaks this level and goes to, oh man, we got some exciting stuff happening. Let's have a look. Let's see.
But it
what,
doesn't seem very likely if you're saying the U.S. Is getting stronger, then that support can be even more solid. No, like it's a nice.
No, not necessarily. It's getting strong for maybe 3 weeks to a month, and then it's going to come weak again. But it could get stronger. It could go up and up and up, and I'd be totally wrong. But right now, like I'm looking at the environment, I'm looking at what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're looking at the data, we're looking at everything, and we're looking at these swings. Look at this overall swing, this low to this high. We've hit the 382, right? But we have not hit the 50. there is room for this to come down to this level right here. So this could eventually come down and hit here. But look how long it takes sometimes. This is a weekly chart. Look, goes up sideways, right? And look at even here, right? You look at this level's right here, right? And went even higher than here. So this level right up here, right? This hit here in 2023 and took another 2 years before it broke it. So, sometimes it takes its sweet ass time. So, if you want to, if you traded here, this is a great investment trade. If you'd have put this on at 2021, when 2022, you'd have been laughing, right? This was great. I made some good money on this run up here. But can you imagine if you did it down here? But anyway, we do have swings, right, up as it's going up, right? So we're just trying to take care of the small swings. Now, there is a pattern that could be forming here, right? I'm going to get rid of all this. There's this little pattern here that's called a king's crown, head and shoulders. So this could be an indication for us when the market turns. And this is a good area too, because this has been there a few times. And if the price comes up to here, right, it could fall.
Yeah.
And this is what we call this, as I said,
Head and shoulders.
a big one here. Look, could have a big one.
Like the shampoo.
Yeah, well, it's more of a king's crown because this is a little mini one here, right? You see this little tiny one here, right? So there's from here to here. Let me see if I can set this a little bit better. Set this to here. Where is that? Where are you? Locked. So, it should be okay now. So this came down to here. This went up to here. Then this becomes a king's crown because it broke this neckline, as they call it, which is here, right? So the king's crown is a little bit more powerful for me than the head and shoulders. Then this could come back to here, right? And then you look for an opportunity to trade down to here. Now, what would your target be? Well, look what you're doing. High to low, retracement, extension. So you could do the same thing. You could take this to this and say that would be my target, or you can just put a Fibonacci, right? And just, this is why I like Fibonacci. We can do everything. There it is. And there, depending where this goes, if it goes to here, your target is right here, which is against this low, which is against that level that we said is a good level, which is right here.
Yeah.
Fits like a puzzle, right? No?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, what I'm thinking of is, okay, this is the weekly. Do you actually put the trades like targeting the next 2-3 weeks? Or how do you trade this?
So now I'm looking for momentum to the upside, and I've got two levels that I'm looking at. There's this one here, right? If I'm just strictly looking at the levels of this and not looking at my regular levels I look at, I'm just strictly looking at price action levels here. So I'm looking at this one. This is a 50%, and this is one is the high previously because it stopped here. So this is a good, what do you call it, resistance. So I'm going to pick that level too, right? So I'm going to now go to the daily. So I'll go to the daily. And remember, I'm not trading this because this is the US dollar. So we don't trade it. So we're not too far away here, right? So we've passed this area here, right? We're done here, right? We've gone through, we're above, we like it, right? Now we got to wait for is for an open and for it to retrace, and then we can say, well, remember we're not buying, but we want to see what the price does. So we want to put, we can put a what do you call it? A notation on there. We can say, okay, when we get that, an alarm goes off, we know price is broken above it. Now we can turn around and say, okay, we got some strength in the US dollar. We go in the right way, because this should come back a little bit here, right? To here, maybe to here. We don't know. Maybe it comes back all the way. I don't know. But we're just putting in levels. We're putting in stuff that we want to see. So then when we're above here, now we can start looking at Euro USD, we can start looking at the Aussie USD, the Great British Pound USD, and start looking at trading those. But looking at this chart now, if I turn around and I do a Fibonacci here, look what I've got. I've hit a D extension and it's setting up a new swing. This new swing needs a retracement. And here, look at the first level I'm looking at is actually right at the 382. So pretty good, right? But look where it is right here. It's right by the 236. Now this market tends to hit the 236 and then come back and hit all the way down to this 127. So that could happen too. And this 127 is right, but not too far away from that low, right? To the second low in between these two lows here, these two levels. So it could do that. It could turn around and do that. So, well, that's pretty tricky, Ash. What are you going to do then? Well, I want to be above that 236, don't I? I want to make sure that this level marked off, I'm going to mark it in black, and then I'm going to go to a 4 hour. I want to say, okay, make sure I'm above closed on this 4 hour chart, right? Look what I've got here. Do I have a Fibonacci swing? Because the low, look, I do. Look at this. And look where the D extension is on the 4 hour swing, right? 382's been hit. So this could come up here and hit this D extension. Is that good? Yes. Because why? Because you're going to get retracement, right? Because it's going to form another swing. So you've now achieved everything that you wanted to achieve on this scenario. You've passed the red line. You've passed the second red line. You've passed the black line. And you've hit a D extension. That means you're going to get some kind of retracement, right? Because it's going to set up a new swing. Say, for example, the low is here. And I know this is a lot to take. I get it. And let's say, we land here, right? So you're going to retrace. So you wait for 2 candles to retrace. You draw a trend line across them, you wait till that breaks, and you trade it up to this D extension right here. This is a little past where we were going to, but this could come all the way back to this trend line, to this blue line right here. And then you trade it up to this blue line, which is very close to the red line, and you want to go there, you want to trade it back down. Whoa, lots of stuff, right? Yeah, I get it.
Lots of colors.
Yeah. But the thing is that when you start to understand, look, there is a big drop here, right? Look, from here to here, there's a big drop. If we just take the basics of my 50%, right? Because we like 50% to the mean, right? Or even 382. There, you mark that off there. Here's the target, here's the target. And look where those targets are, right? Look at this, right by a low, right? And right by an open close on a 4 hour, right there. Look at that. That's pretty damn good, right? So you can turn and say, well, if I get a retracement down to here, I put a buy on the high there and away I go. But you can keep it simple, or you can trade Fibonacci, whatever you want, right? But you've used this, you've mapped out this swing, you've mapped out the 236, here's the 382, wait for a retracement, put your buy on this high right here. Now this is a US dollar. We don't trade the US dollar. We just use it to market. But let's go to Great British Pound USD. How's that?
Let's go.
Let's see how the Great British. So, if the Great British Pound USD, if we're doing US strength, what are we looking for in the Great British Pound USD chart? Are we looking for up or down?
Down.
So let's see how that plays out. Oh. Monthly is still going up, right? We've got some movement there. We possibly have a retracement back here for a 50%. I don't know if that was taken out there. Not looking at this current month, I'm looking at this month here. I think this one was already fulfilled. Let's check it. Don't think, check. And the reason I'm checking that is because we've passed the open, close open. So there's a probability that this could hit there. So that 50% is right there. We color it super blue. Somebody asked me, why do you color it blue? I said, because blue's my favorite color. There we go. So we do have a target to go to, right? So that is up, right? We also possibly have one right here. So this could go higher before it goes down. And we have a target to the downside too. So we've got some good things here. It's good. Not too far away from here. We've retraced a little bit. Now, this is key right here. This level right here. See this level right here? Look, oh, now we're under it. So that's a key level. So I'm going to paint it black here. Because if we're closed under there, right, we have a high probability. Oh, why did I do that? Dummy. There we go. Right. So if we close, let's see if we're below it. I want to check that's why it's a 3. I don't want it to be a 3. I want it to be a 1. There we go. Can you see that line, or should I make it thicker?
No, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So if I go to the weekly, right. So look where we are on this line here. We haven't closed under it, so that's actually good, right? So that could bounce up so we could hit here. Now, why is it important that we hit there? I want to hit there because this is a good resistance. So then we could hit it there and then come back down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, right? Okay. So where are we? Remember, we wanted a downturn, right? All right. Look, do we have a high, a low? Here's our Fibonacci. Look at that. Look at this, right? So where's their target? Right here. Are we looking to go up or down?
Down.
Yeah. Does that fit the narrative of U.S. strength of what we wanted?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah. Kind of fits like a glove, doesn't it? Right? So what do we got here? Well, we've certainly got some, indecision. We need a 50% filled, right? You could wait until this 50% is filled and it's under there. You could, if you wanted to. It's up to you, right? Do we have anything here? No, we don't. We don't have a swing. So there's no up Fibonacci. So could that be dangerous? Could we wait? Here's the high here. Could we wait for the 2 candles? Right? 2 candles here would create a swing, right? So if we create a swing, could that carry on up? Yeah, it could. Now, it will be great this is hit. I can't stress this enough. It will be really good if this is hit. Then creates those 2 candles. Then we wait and we draw a trend line. If it breaks the trend line, we step aside to see if it keeps going up higher. And if it breaks wherever the B is, now it's going up further. So we get more US weakness, right? So this is how you you put this together. So all we're looking for right now is this. So I'll show you. It's very simple. You draw this trend line here. And you wait. If you want to do this trade to this 50%, you are on a weekly, right? Mark the 50%. We do it loosely. You can measure it, right? Here's my target, because this is a weekly chart. It's going to take a while. But this is my target right now. Fuck off, you stupid thing. We're going to have to sort that out and figure we can get rid of that. So now, I'm just going to go straight to a 4-hour. You trade on a 4-hour or 1 hour? Tell me.
4-1, 15 minutes.
Let's do 4-hour first, and we go to, look where we are, right? Here's where we're going, right? Look where we are under here. What if this closes underneath there? We can look at this. We can just. Well, I wouldn't put a sell there because it didn't close underneath it. But we can wait till it closes underneath and then put a sell directly there and just sell it down to there. That's it. That's not a bad trade. What would this give you if you traded this? Well, let's say we use this low right here. If I use this low right here, that's a nice 133 pips. Right? Now, what if this goes up to here? Well, how do we figure that out? We're going to trade both ways here, guys. Okay, here's my trend line. Now I got to pick another level that I want to be above. See this pin bar here? If I'm above there, if I've broken this trend line, and I'm above here, I'm trading to here. How many pips is that? So let's say above here. Let's say here. Make sure. That's 106. Nothing wrong with 106. Why? Well, what if you get up there to 106, right? And then you say, well, now I've got a trend line here and it broke. Now I'm trading from here all the way down to here, which is now 300 pips. So let me ask you, do you care if you go up or down? What do you care?
It doesn't really matter.
No, I've just shown you two opportunities, one to the upside and one to the downside. And you use the US dollar chart to confirm which one you should be going for. Right?
Yeah. Nice.
So if this breaks this orange trend line and breaks above that blue line, you go straight back to the US dollar chart and see what the US dollar chart's doing. And if the US dollar chart, if I go back to it and I go back right here, and we could use the 4-hour. If this has slipped down to here and is down here, it's not going up anymore, it's going down, which means you buy the Great British Pound. You have confidence now. You say, well, I got confidence because the US dollar is weak, which fits to the narrative that it would go up to the upside. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
It can't get any simpler than this, surely.
Yeah, I understand.
And I know you have looked at it and you say, oh, it's difficult to understand. It's tough, but rules are made and created over time, right? And you look at what you do, your job and your industry, and you didn't wake up one day and knew everything about what you do. You learned, right? You've read books, you've watched videos, you had people teach you, you've learned it. But the biggest of all is your experience. Right? And we are creatures of habit. We tend to do the easy way out or find an easier way, do we not?
Yes, we like that.
We like that, right? We like to find the easier way. I cannot find any easier way than identifying levels and identifying, like, would I have traded from here? Yeah, this is a good place to trade from. Look, because I know I've done a Fibonacci, but even without the Fibonacci, if I didn't have the Fibonacci on, right, what is this level here? What is this level to you?
Support.
Hit, right? And it's like, well, how would you trade it? Well, you got a high right here from a candle, right? These candles don't exist. You have a 50% here. So it's like, just simply say, okay, I'm going to wait until I'm above that high right there. That's my marker. I want the price to hit that. The next candle didn't go, but the next one did. Look, right? And it's like, where are you trading to? Well, you'll be trading just probably to this level right here, right? Look, right?
Resistance.
And boom, 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 bam. You just won some money, right? Now, obviously, you're not trading this, but you look at this and then go to the Euro USD, Aussie USD. Can you imagine if you traded all USD pairs, so US Swiss, US JPY, US CAD, Aussie, all that stuff, and you made 50, 60 pips on every single one of them? Then all of a sudden, in 2 days, you've made like 400 pips, or maybe, 300 pips. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And it's just simple trading. You don't have to go for the big one. Now, for me, I don't like to trade a lot of. If I'm trading the Aussie USD, right? I'm just trading against the USD. The Aussie is a commodity currency, like the USD is. I don't like to trade those because they're volatile, right? So I try and stay away from them. New Zealand, the same thing. So I usually go with the Great British Pound and the Euro. The Euro, not so much. I don't trade the Euro a lot. But if you ask me if I'm trading the USD, it's mostly the US JPY and Great British Pound USD. So when I find this, I go, that's where I go. And then gold. But a lot of people like trading the Euro USD because it's very cheap to trade it, because it's very low in spread and all that kind of stuff. So people like it, and it's great. Yeah, do it. But there you go. Hopefully that makes sense and helped. What else do you want to look at? Want to look at anything else, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made sense to everybody. But
yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I've been saying it, but I think I should start looking more into the currencies.
Yeah, I mean, it's still hard for me to turn around and trade stocks when I, like if you look at it from a point of view, like, okay, so I try to do my average from last year of what I made weekly and, daily and stuff. And I had some big trades. I had some, $1,500 trades, stuff like that. But if I map it all out, like losses and stuff like that, right, just a gentle $750 a week is doable. Just keeping it so simple. Just a couple of trades here and there, right? You could get to $750 a week. Think about that, $750 a week. And even if you said, okay, let's take it down even less and say 500. Is $500 a week doable? Yeah, it is. And if you say, well, if you find that's difficult because you don't have the account size, you say, okay, well, halve it, do 250, right? Do 100, right? $100 a week, and then you stop trading. Imagine how much money you'd have at the end of the year just by doing that. Yeah. I'll help you. It's 5,200, 52 weeks in a year, right? But as you go along after 3 months, you're going to increase it. You're going to say, well, that 100 I make, I'm going to increase it. How do you increase it? You increase your position size. You don't have to look for more trades. You just increase your position. So if you were doing a mini lot, which is worth $1, right? You now do 2 mini lots. So now it's $2. So that same trade that you would do where you would then maybe make $20, $30, but then for the whole week, all your trades you made $100, you now make $200. No difference in how you trade. None. The only difference is your position size. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So your risk, right? So you're risking more. So what happens after 6 months where you're doing really, really well, and you say, well, I want to ramp it up. Do you look for more trades? No. You just increase your risk again. Because you're now consistently making $200 a week. Now, look, sometimes you're going to lose $60. So you only make $140. But then maybe one week you make not 100, but you make 180 because the trades kept going, right? And they did good. So it balances out. We're just talking averages here, right? So when you say to yourself, I'm confident now, I'm confident. So what do? Do you look for more trades? No. What do? Position size, risk more. And when you're comfortable with that risk, I got real comfortable at putting on 5 mini lots, half a standard lot. And then I got real comfortable where, I haven't done this much. I think probably before COVID, at least, where I'd be putting on 5 standard lots. So each pip move is $50. And I just move from one level to one level, from a B to a 236. And, all of a sudden that 60, 70 pip move, right, is bringing me good money, $3,500. That's a lot of money, right? But very short. So you start getting really comfortable with your risk, really comfortable with your trades, really comfortable with the levels, and away you go. And I mean, you look at that. Even if this right here, even if this was not the US dollar, if this was any other asset, right? Say the Great British USD, and you traded from here, you're not hurt. You're not hurt. You made some money here, and you could have a trend line to here and say, if it breaks, I'll get out, and maybe you made $30. Goes back down again, you get in again. Your stop loss is down here anyway. It should be 10 pips at least below these lows. So you can get in once, twice, made some money here, probably not here, but made some money here, break even here, got out, waited here, made some more money, made a lot more, right? So, at the end of the day, if you keep it simple, you're going to make more money. Anyway, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please send in questions. I did have a question. Actually, somebody asked me a question. I forgot. Geez, I'm bad today. Can't even remember what the question was. All right. Well, we'll do it next time. Don't worry. Sorry.
Sorry.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right,
Same. Not same time. We'll be on time next week. That's good. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye. Take care, Isaac.
Take care.